Shalom, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach us His truth. Peace, love, and blessings and protection unto the elect scattered abroad around the four corners of the earth, mainly in Babylon and Great America. All right. And it's going to be a quick lesson. Back to the basics. Get out your feelings type lesson and video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Ultimately, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. If you don't believe on the scriptures and what it says, if the Lord is not guiding you through the spirit, all right, without emotions, all right, you cannot receive the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And it's going back to the back to the basics. All right, dealing with the great doctrine that our elders and apostles taught us according to the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, according to the scriptures. All right. And when certain accounts like that happen, because great is, I wouldn't say it's very common, but, shit happens. All right. And if that was to occur, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah set up boundaries and standards that an individual that commit that act, all right, either he's going to be judged, be put to death, along with that woman that he commit that act with, dealing with adultery, or he's going to be judged, by the way of, financials. All right. And that's, I'm going to break that down later on in the title of this discussion. Like I said, I'm going to keep it, short and bitter. All right. Keep it short and bitter because this is a very bitter topic of discussion. All right. To the point that Captain Tazariak, all right, Salakia, Captain Tazariak, the ISUPK, he says otherwise. And ultimately, it just lets us know that nigga's a bitch. It's just that simple. He's a bitch ass nigga. Very emotional. Nigga must be got daughters. Nonetheless, hey man, our elders and apostles teach us, the correct doctrine according to the spirit. And they broke it down to us long before. And now that these niggas, feeling some type of way. Only reason, just for the simple fact that our elders and apostles get on these individuals about teaching false doctrine, mainly falling on, the MOTB, Revelation 13 and 16. And it's crazy through the spirit that right before that statement that the cap none made, certain individuals was asking about the hour of temptation, the MOTB, and he couldn't give a direct answer. All right. Meanwhile, you got brothers, and like I said, you can see the pages right here. GMS South Carolina 08, GMS Virgin Island Straight Gate. What is the 666 Mark II? GMS Truth. GMS KC Prophets 3, dealing with the slander and the scoffing. It's part of the straight gate. All right, it's all part of the ministry. All right, because ultimately we teach the scriptures. We teach Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, whether people, listen or they don't. No matter niggas get emotional or they don't, man. And that's why our elders and apostles always say, when you come to serve the Lord, you have to throw away all emotions to the side, because there's certain precepts and certain scriptures, due to the weak manner of the flesh, you're going to feel some type of way on a lot of things. But if you're a spiritual man, you're going to understand the scriptures. You're going to understand the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. All right. And it's another precept. Well, not precept. GMS Yahweh Sop. He did a video as well. Yahweh Sop Hopeful Elect 777. Very edifying brother. It says Captain Tazariak slanders GMS. What is the legal age biblically? All right. And whether he knew, and you can watch that video, be edified. All right, this is my input and my intake. I'm gonna do, a little bit more talking than bringing out scriptures, and I will bring out the scriptures. All right, because at the end of the day, contrary to you emotional bitch ass niggas belief, every individual none dealt, in my personal opinion, none dealt with a younger age female, whether they've been in high school, being a junior or a senior in high school, and this girl, this woman is entering into the 9th grade, but that's cool though. Or, vice versa, a woman liking a younger man. All right, it's in women's nature, especially them being young, to like older men. And me personally, from the experience that I done dealt with dealing with women, they told me straight forth that they like to deal with older men. All right, they seem more mature, more established, so on and so forth. Because these women, they sluts and whores in Babylon the Great. They hiding their ass. All right, so most of these women none calculate at least about 2 to 10 bodies by the age of 12 to 14, maybe 16 years old, man. So these niggas really got to get out of their fucking emotions. But this truth is really for the elect true men. And we understand through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that we are, the strong vessel, and Eve being the weaker vessel. All right, and we understand also, in that time and in that day, in the time of Jacob's trouble, a lot of women are going to be cut off and die. All right, and a precept that I'm thinking about is Numbers, the 31st chapter, and Lord will I get that. But in that time and in that day, it's going to be a lot of young women that's going to cleave unto the men of the Lord. That's going to be, saved and delivered from the times of all hell breaking loose. And it's ultimately going to be, it's ultimately going to be designed and set up by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. So these niggas, mainly, the cap, he's definitely capping. All right. He talk all this and the brother, Yahweh Sop, he showed the evidence in the video. Meanwhile, you got your leaders, because in the Captain Tazariak video, he said that because of Israel not holding accountable the leaders, all right, that's why Lord Yahweh Shai hasn't made his second return yet. And we know that's a fucking lie. All right, through many precepts and many scriptures, and the brother went into that. And you see my history on, the other Akim and elders that did videos, and also Elder Apostle Tahar on what is the 666 mark, GMS Truth 2, dealing with his page, dealing with Captain Tazariak. All right. And the elders and apostles let it be known that if you, because at the end of the day, man, graping, that's a very shameful thing, man. If you got to take some pussy, in my personal opinion, because even growing up in this society, if you got to beg for some pussy or, take some pussy, you a lame ass nigga in my eyes. All right. If the bitch ain't feeling you, you move the fuck on. Excuse my French, because that's the type of person I am. Like I tell people, I don't force shit on nobody. You got your own mind. It's just a simple fact. I do entice women to pull down them drawers, man. If a woman wanna fuck, a woman wanna fuck. All right. And like I said, dealing with these sluts and whores out here in Babylon the Great, they fucking early, man. Between the ages of 12 to 16 years old. All right. And we know biblically when they pass their flower, the ones that's in the norm, they pass their flower, in the way of the menstrual cycle, periods. Hey, they be hot and ready, man. And it's sad, man. And like I said, I pray for brothers that got daughters, man. I really do. But once they get to a certain age, best believe she's gonna be ready, man. It's just the God on the truth. And the same thing go for a young man. All right, you know, him being horny or whatever. But because of this society and the more access to a woman of being so-called liberal, being a feminist, whatever the fuck they like to call themselves, all right, they promote hoardism in Babylon, the Great America. Amos chapter 7, verse 17, as Elder Apostle loves to break down, all right, which lets us know that is the ultimate curse that has been put upon our people. But nonetheless, like I said, I'm a, you know, get the precepts. Like I said, man, GMS South Carolina 08. And even what is the 666 Mark II GMS True and the Elder Karat Dazah. All right, his channel. His channel is GMS Las Vegas Reloaded, if I'm not mistaken, 144K. All right, that's his channel. But I know he's coming out of the Las Vegas, you know, branch, being a servant of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah. Like I said, man, these women, they are the weaker vessel. And because we understand the true understanding of these women, and that's why ultimately the Lord created more women than men. As the scriptures say in, thinking of a precept, Isaiah 4 and 7. 7 women shall take hold of one man. Letting you know at the end of the day, it's all about the man. Isaiah 13 and 12. All right, he's going to make a man more precious than fine gold. So on and so forth, man. So at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not going to go too much in the topic. I'm just going to read a few scriptures. And if you feel some type of way about that, hey, that's you. At the end of the day, that lets us know through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, you really truly do not believe on the Lord, man. In my personal opinion, you say you're a servant of the Lord. You read the Bible. You say you got, you know, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible. But when it comes down to that, you know, it's a problem. You know, slandering and lying, talking shit towards our elders and apostles. All right? Even your elders and apostles that you learn from, whether you want to believe it or not. And ultimately, that just lets us know through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai that these niggas envious Great Millstone. Because even in the video that not Tazadok, Lord, Tazariak, dealing with the MOTB topic of discussion. He's saying the MOTB is not the RFID, but if they implement that, you ought not to take it. All right, basically trying to cover his ass, man, instead of just being straightforward. And that just lets us know this nigga had to have a gag order, the 501c3, which ultimately boils down to the nigga selling out. And you can type this shit up on the internet. The ISUPK, IUIC has a 501c3 charter. All right, they have a tax exemption. All right, so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, we ought not to listen to individuals like that. All right, if you seek, you know, true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, hey, you're going to come to the men, the elders and apostles, the teachers and the men of Great Millstone, no matter how emotional you may get. All right, because at the end of the day, it makes sense, man. It definitely makes sense. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, so enough of me talking. We're going to go straight into the point. I just want to bring out two points, just two. Just to let it be known that, hey, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, hey, he allows it. Because if he didn't, he would have made sure it was a law for individuals to be put to death. All right? But meanwhile, you got Captain Tazariak, because he's so emotional, calling, our elders and apostles, weirdos, a low life nigga, talking big shit. Like I said, all you got to do is go on the elders and apostles page and other Akim and elders on down, and did videos dealing with the topic of discussion. All right, so like I said, once I read these precepts and these scriptures, you false prophets, you should have nothing to say. All right, and if you do, you're not the elect, like the elders and apostles say. And even dealing with the MOTB, man, because at the end of the day, he ignores that, and you can tell he ignores that in his video. That's why he goes back to our elders and apostles, because they have the truth, 100% truth, going back into them being so-called grapists. All right, trying to say we so-called PDFs. All right, the men of GMS and his followers, knowing goddamn well we ain't doing no type of shit like that. Because for one, these women give up pussy. I'ma be a honey. All you gotta do is just talk to them smoothly, entice them with them words, pursuing Exodus the 22nd chapter. All right. Matter of fact, enough of me ranting. Exodus 22 and 16. And you see it in the KJV. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. All right, it's just that simple, man. All right, niggas want to be smooth talkers, smooth operators and all that shit. Once you put your rod in a female, ultimately, whether you believe it or not, that is your wife. But more, during the time of a biblical sense, all right, the Salakia, that this my bus route. I don't know. I'm about to see right now. Nah, they about to pass. Oh, Shalom.